Rong Gui is my great-grandfather. He was an intelligent individual who worked very hard. Educated through Christian missionary schools, he learned English and other foreign ideologies. His efforts led him to hold a senior position at the United Nations Relief and Rehabilitation Association, the UNRWA, the largest international humanitarian organization in the world at the time. The UNRWA provided relief to war-torn individuals. My great-grandfather earned a life most only could dream of.
他那个时候的生活过得是相当不错的，属于动不动就是什么去什么锦江饭店啊这种地儿去吃饭，家里边有小汽车，然后有电话，有钢琴，这个红木家具什么的，这个住的也都是南京西路非常好的。
Working in a foreign organization, the UNRWA, he earned his salary in USD. When currency exchange rates were applied, great-grandfather earned 2,400 RMB every month. To put that into perspective, Mao Zedong only earned 400 RMB per month at the time. But in 1949, that same salary was no longer a symbol of success. New China was established to form a communist society. Anything outside of Chinese communism was seen as betrayal. His wealth and foreign connections would be seen as disloyalty. Great-grandfather's occupation was once the source of his luxurious life. Now, it would be the cause of his suffering for years to come. With great-grandfather working at the UNRWA, a foreign organization, communist officials saw him as unloyal to the Chinese government. He was suspected for 里通外国, communicating with foreign enemies. They decided he was a spy. This led to brutal rounds of struggle sessions and interrogations performed by the Red Guards. The Red Guards were high school students who fanatically devoted themselves to Chairman Mao. They carried out acts of violence and public humiliation against anyone labeled a class enemy, 黑五类. The Red Guards psychologically coerced my great-grandmother and great-grandfather separately. They pressured them to confess that my great-grandfather harmed the proletariats and Chairman Mao. My great-grandmother refused to say anything, no matter how hard the Red Guards tried to manipulate her.
然后我外婆就是死不肯交代，她就是说她是家庭妇女，她什么都不知道。她的那个老公就算干了再不应该的事儿，她也不清楚，她也从来没跟她说过，就是一口咬定什么都不知道。这才算是把她终于给放了，因为她没有出去工作过，硬人拿她也没办法，是这样。
If the excruciating interrogations and struggle sessions weren't enough, Chinese officials took everything away. In a blink of an eye, everything our family was familiar with had vanished.
然后基本上抄家，把你家里所有的东西稍微值点钱的全部抄走。我当时的太婆就是我的外婆的母亲，已经年龄很大了，躺在一张床上，然后本来是也要拿走的那张床，是因为太婆婆实在是也病了，也太老了，躺在那床上。然后我的外婆求那些抄家的人说，太婆婆躺床上，如果床搬走了，她就只好躺地上了，请求他们不要把床搬走，这才把那张床给留了下来，剩下的全部东西全部拿走。
Everything my family had was gone, and still the worst was yet to come. The psychological works of the Red Guards had proven effective on my great-grandfather. My great-grandfather was manipulated to reveal everything about himself. So as a result, in 1967, Ji Ronggui would be officially sentenced to Tilanqiao Prison in Shanghai, also known as the Ward Road Goal, charged with the crime of communicating with foreign enemies. He described that along with the people that he had seen died, the most unbearable part was the hunger.
然后，所以他就是基本上饿的，就是靠那个衡凉水，就是实在饿了喝凉水，把肚子撑起来，就觉得不那么饿。然后呢，可能春节还能给你个什么酱豆腐啊之类的，好歹有口饭吃这样的。
This would be great-grandfather's life for the next 8 years. What kept his sanity was his own 精神世界, an inner world, provided by his education and his Christian faith. His education and faith was what the government couldn't take away from him. While communist prison brainwashed his cellmates, he at the very least could think for himself. Great-grandfather's wife and children's life beyond the bars was just as painful. The communist government had already successfully achieved its goal. Stripped of everything they had, everything they knew, they were molded to exactly what the party wanted: poor, surviving, and most importantly, equal. My great-grandmother supported her family by disassembling masks for mere income. During this time period, the next day was not guaranteed.
当时我记得最清楚是我外婆跟我说，她有一次眼泪都掉下来了，原因是因为做了一锅红薯饭。然后这锅红薯饭呢，我一去盛饭的时候，她先舀了一勺，然后狠狠的先往嘴里塞了一口，然后呢才盛到她那饭碗里，才回到桌上。因为她想多吃一点嘛，就是这样的。所以我就她是偷偷的这样的，就是说偷吃了一口吧，相当于被我外婆看见了，然后我外婆就在那掉泪。
To make matters worse, Rong Gui's son and youngest daughter would be assigned strenuous labor as work with no hope of getting an education. This hardship would not improve until Ji Rong-gui was released from prison in 1975. Sentenced 20 years, but served 8. Although never publicly announced, 平反, the quiet rehabilitation of wrongly imprisoned citizens had already begun. Releases were happening in silence, before the government was willing to admit it had been wrong. When great-grandfather was released, he was no better than a skeleton.
平反呢，一个就是说他那个时候是真的非常非常瘦，就跟奥斯维辛集中营放出来那个差不多。我外婆就是给他补身体嘛，就是都不敢说是使劲补，因为使劲补有可能会出人命的，是这样。所以他就是刚刚开始只能喝汤，就一天吃10顿饭。然后呢，每顿都是喝那种汤啊、粥啊那种东西。然后我外婆说吧，就说这2个礼拜之间啊，这个人哈，就像是气球那样，那么快，就是说这样就直接就吹起来了。
The Cultural Revolution ended in 1976, marked by the death of Chairman Mao and the arrest of the Gang of Four. It would be another few years before the government under Deng's rule compensated 1/10 of the cost for our confiscated items. That was their form of apology for my family's suffering. But at this point, it wouldn't matter how the government would have apologized. The Cultural Revolution had already done its damage to great-grandfather, to his wife, and to his children. And it would shape the actions of the next generation and the generation after that, forever. My great-grandfather's story told everything he wanted his family to know.
我们家里的这个态度，我从小就能感觉到，就是说是非常的鼓励孩子要好好读书，然后将来要出国留学，就是怎么说呢，就是还是不太信任中国整体的这个政治制度，总是觉得这孩子要去到外国才安全。
In my great-grandfather's eyes, the best thing you could do for yourself was leave. His story represents one of the many real-life experiences that people face during the Cultural Revolution. His story illustrates what happens to the life he built for himself and his family as it gradually disappears because of Cold War tensions and as China transforms from a nationalist to a communist society.
That is true. That is the real experience life. Real experience life.